Joining us now, great to have her with us, Pam Bondi. As you know, Pam, a very good friend of the John Fredericks Show. Pam, right now, a special advisor to the President of the United States. She was also the two-term Attorney General in Florida, and she's with us now focused on the impeachment trial of the President, or the impeachment proceedings in the House, and now going to the Senate, assuming it goes through. Pam Bondi, great to have you.
Good morning, John. I hope you're doing great.
Pam, never better. Last night, a number of Democrats have come out for impeachment. Many of these in Trump districts, that 31 of them, the overwhelming majority now coming out saying they're going to vote for impeachment. I was a little shocked by that. I thought, maybe 10, 13 of them would vote no. Apparently, all of them are going to vote in favor of these two bogus articles of impeachment. What do you think this means, Pam?
Well, it's always been a partisan witch hunt, and we've known that. We know about Jeff Van Drew, though. It's not surprising that he wants to switch his party, given what the House Democrats have done. But yeah, it's always been extremely partisan. They really, when they started this, though, they thought they were going to get Republicans on their side. And now we are united. Our party is unified more than ever. That's probably the only good thing to have come out of this, is I've never seen our party more unified than it is now. And, and these Democrats who are, I don't know if they're being strong-armed by Pelosi, because they were kind of all over the place in the beginning on what they're going to do, who are now voting against it. It's really a shame, because what do their constituents care about? USMCA, the China trade deal, combating anti-Semitism, paid family leave. Those are all things President Trump did, John, last week while they were impeaching him. And what did the Democrats deliver? A disgraceful vote to advance impeachment.
Well, and now they're going forward with it again tomorrow. Now, Pam,
yep.
I was at the Doha conference this past weekend, and Lindsey Graham was there. And in no uncertain terms, kind of stark contrast to what the administration wants, is Graham said emphatically, there will be a short trial. I will call no witnesses. There'll be no Hunter Biden, no Joe Biden. None of these people are coming. No Adam Schiff. I'm not calling any of them. I want to get this thing over with and vote for acquittal. My mind is made up as soon as I can. That's counter to what we've heard coming out of the White House and what their desire is for a fuller trial. What say you?
Well, imagine being the president. Imagine if you were falsely accused of something. You would want to be heard. You would want your voice heard. You would want to be able to get your side of the story out there. But now that these articles, I see Senator Graham's point completely, because now that these, they were talking bribery after they did a focus group on it, all these ridiculous, horrible crimes. Now that it's come out, the actual charges against him. What are the charges against him? Obstruction of Congress? I mean, it's a joke what they've charged the president with. So I totally see Senator Graham's point now. They haven't even presented crimes. So to talk about the obstruction one first, John, they're saying because people in a separate branch of government, the executive branch, did not honor subpoenas, but they wanted the courts to decide what they should do. That's obstruction. And, that's raising long-standing constitutionally based privileges that protect the separation of powers. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. I mean, the only one who's obstructed anyone is Adam Schiff. And then if you go to the abuse of power, it's just theatrics. It's so weak. These charges are so weak against the president that they have completely trivialized impeachment. And remember what Professor Turley said. He said if POTUS does something that they don't like, they can fit anything into that category. And so that's what's so ridiculous about how down the drain this has gone.
Oh, you're right, Pam Bondi. And I think it was Congresswoman Baker in California the other day said, well, if Trump wins again, we'll impeach him again if we still have the House.
Oh, sure. They've been saying that, So Nancy Pelosi orders the rules of impeachment to be prepared before it had even come to the second committee. So it's unbelievable. And we know, Nadler, they've all wanted to impeach President Trump, I say, since he came down the escalator at Trump Tower, long before he was even sworn into office. So, yeah, we're gonna live this for the next 5 years, but you know what? We're stronger, we're better, and the law, the facts, the truth are on the president's side. We're going to prevail. He's going to be reelected, and he's going to continue to do so many great things for our country.
We're with Pam Bondi. She's live at the White House, special advisor to the president, former two-term attorney general of Florida, Republican, obviously, and a defender of the president now on impeachment and advising him. You can see where Graham is coming from. And we've had some callers today saying, Graham is right, let's just get the impeachment over with and go on to something else. But I've had a lot of other callers saying what you opened with, which is this is about the president, him being exonerated, and we want to see a full trial. So who is the authority here? Who's going to make the decision of what happens?
Oh, well, ultimately it's up to the Senate, and it should be up to the Senate. And again, these are the weakest of weak charges. They had to focus group to come up with bribery. Then they didn't even have enough to charge the president. They have nothing, by the way, to charge the president with anything. So they make up these obscure charges. And I think Senator Graham is saying, why waste more of the people's time? We need to get back to work. We need to do the things that they were all elected to do. And, people they understand what our president has been doing. The jobs report, John, I think you've talked about that. It smashed all expectations, showing 307,000 new jobs. That's crazy. Between the blockbuster job growth in November and the revisions to September and October's figures, it's crazy. I mean, 266,000 jobs were created in November. That's unreal.
Right in the middle of this, with a booming economy, the Democrats go forward tomorrow with impeachment. So again, just trying to get clarification. You said that how the trial goes is going to be up to the Senate. But is it McConnell or is it Graham that is ultimately going to make this decision of how it goes?
Well, the senators are all working very closely with each other. Again, they're united, they're unified. I don't think like they've ever been before. And it's Leader McConnell who's trying to work with Chuck Schumer on setting the rules, coming up with a fair process, unlike we have seen in the House of Representatives that began in secret bunker hearings where Republicans weren't even allowed in the door. So Leader McConnell is doing everything he can. He wants to make it fair. He wants to work with Chuck Schumer and not make this a show trial.
All right, so it sounds like the White House, still going forward, is in favor of a full trial, calling witnesses, right? Is that what I'm understanding?
We are going to leave it up to the Senate. It's up to the Senate. Once it goes, we're still hoping it won't get voted out, but from, of course, everything we're hearing, tomorrow it will get voted out of the House, and it'll go to the Senate, and then it will be up to Leader McConnell, Lindsey Graham, all the senators to decide when they've heard enough of this sham and want to move on and all start doing things to help our country like Republicans have been doing throughout this fake process that the Democrats started, this witch hunt.
So it sounds like then the White House would not oppose Graham's position, which is let's get in and out of this thing in 8 days, let's hear all their evidence, let's vote on it, acquit the president, and put it behind us and move on.
Yeah, and John, we can't get ahead of it because we don't know who the Senate wants to hear from yet. There's a lot to be done. Now, having said that, whatever process they choose to follow, we are ready to go. So, short or long, middle of the road, we are ready to go. Pat Cipollone, the White House counsel, his incredible legal team, they've been working nonstop, and again, it's a sham, and when the truth and the law and the facts are on your side, it's pretty easy for us.
Pam Bondi, candidly, last question. Were you surprised by the number of Trump district Democrats in the last 2 days who have come out and said they're going to vote for both articles of impeachment? Were you at all surprised by that?
You know, we always knew it was going to come down to it's partisan. It's a very, very partisan vote. The one who actually, again, surprised me was Van Drew, who is brave and bold enough to say this is not what he was elected to do. His constituents care about all the things that you and I have just discussed: jobs, the economy, safety, everything, education. That he's so disgusted that he's going to change his party to Republican. So I think that speaks volumes. But, you know, I can't predict what Pelosi's saying to these people, and, you know, that's up to their party, and we most likely will control after the next election, we may take back Congress.
Well, I think you will. I was really shocked by the number of Democrats that came out yesterday in favor of this in those 31 districts that Trump carried in 2016. I thought the Republicans would get 10, maybe 15 of them. It looks like they're going to get one of them now after Jeff Van Drew switches over. The only one they're going to get, as it appears, is Colin Peterson in Minnesota. Pam Bondi, I know you have a meeting at 8:10. I want to thank you for joining us today, as always, and your candor. Pam Bondi, special advisor to the President of the United States, advising him on impeachment, former two-term Attorney General in Florida. Pam, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, John, and have a great day to you and all your listeners. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Pam Bondi.